Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the Medicare Space live show every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Central. And I'm here with the beautiful Sylvia Toscano.
Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning?
Oh man, it's been a crazy week. It's just, work's been a little crazy, but it could be better, or it could always be worse.
Yes.
I love working, but you know how it goes. How was your week today?
It was good. I had a good week. I'm at the HEBs.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays, I'm at the Macrelas. And then Thursdays, I'm at where am I? Austin Highway.
Okay.
From 9 to 1. And then Mondays, I am at the Health Texas Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wednesdays, I'm at the Conviva. I should have started with Monday, but anyway. And
You're
then today I'm here.
You are busy.
And then last night, I cleaned my closet, got rid of all my winter clothes, put them away. I have 2 huge closets. I put them in the third closet. And then this morning I woke up, I was freezing. I had to put on my heater.
Yeah.
And 3 days ago, I put on my AC. So I know my house is like, what the heck is she doing?
What is going on?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's like our upstairs gets really hot. So then every morning when we walk downstairs, it's super freezing. It's like, because all the heat rises to the top.
Up.
And so if I put on the AC, it's too cold. If I put on the heater, it gets too hot upstairs. So what do you do? What do you do?
It's insane.
So, well, we want to welcome everybody that's joining us in today. I know it's early on a Friday for those of you that, it was yesterday St. Patrick's Day?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday was St. Patrick's Day. Well, today is a very special day. You know what? Today's a very special day. And what I want to do is it's my mom's birthday.
Oh my God.
Do you want to sing her happy birthday?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can call her right now.
Lovely people. You will see that in a minute.
Let me see if I could call her right now.
Okay.
Let's hope we can hear it.
And my friend Lori's birthday was
Can we hear
Wednesday.
Hello?
Is this Mom?
Hello?
Mom?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Mom. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
You are live on the Medicare Space live show. We wanted to get you on because it's your birthday and I love you.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you, ladies. That was awesome. I was actually on the live. I was actually watching on the live show, and I said, "Oh, I better answer the call."
Okay, we're gonna let you go. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.
And if you know anybody, it's their birthday, and you want us to sing happy birthdays to them, let us know.
We do a little bit of something here and there.
Yes.
So what are we going to talk about? I know. Okay, we got the birthday. We talked about our week. How's your week going, guys? Let us know in the comments how your week is going. We want to know how your week was. If you have questions for us about Medicare or anything, we can try to answer. So what do we want to talk about today?
So this week I had a couple of calls. Actually, one of my clients' husband called me because he's turning 65. And so he's turning 65 in May.
Okay.
And he's thinking, I'm going to get my Medicare card. Can you stop by? I was in the neighborhood. I said, yeah, I'll go over there and go over. I helped her. I put her on one of the plans. And he was the second one or third one last week and 2 this week that have called me because they're turning 65 in the next couple of months.
Okay.
One in April, one in May, and the other one, I believe, in July. That's my birthday month. In July. And they're thinking, I'm going to get Medicare automatically, which is true.
Okay.
Medicare is automatically when you turn 65. But if you're not collecting Social Security, you're not automatically going to get it because there's a premium. And if there's nobody to pay the $148, Social Security is going to say, I'm not going to give it to them because their assumption is you have credible insurance through your employer and you don't want a Part B. So at that time, I think we could talk about what to do, the difference between Medicare and Social Security, because a lot of times people think, well, I have Social Security or I have Medicare, and they can distinguish the two.
Yeah, because we with clients, they have to go to the Social Security Administration
Right.
to apply, or they get their Medicare card and it says Social Security Administration when they get their little red, white, and blue card in the mail.
Right.
So they automatically think, well, I don't want to get Medicare because I don't want to draw Social Security.
Right.
Or, vice versa. So it's like, well, so we want to kind of talk about maybe just more of the Part B portion,
Right.
Which is the medical portion of Medicare. So if you're becoming Medicare, and if you guys are watching, and if you know somebody that's in their 60s or not even in their 60s, maybe they've been on disability and they're about to get that red, white, and blue
Right.
card, then I would definitely listen in, because this is something that we run into. Actually, we run into it too much.
Right.
Because okay, so let's talk about the first thing is, where would they go apply for Part B?
Social Security.
So I'm going to pull up for you guys in the stream here. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. We're at the ssa.gov website. Okay. And walk me through this website, Sylvia, while I navigate here.
Okay. We're going to go look for, what are we looking for?
Oh, let's see. So in Social Security, for those of you that are trying to apply for just the Medicare portion, so let's walk through a situation. That might be a little bit better first. Let's get this out of the way first. Let's walk through a situation with.
Okay, so let's say I'm turning 65.
Okay.
She's closer to 65 than I am. But regardless, so let's say I'm turning 65 in July.
Okay.
And I'm working.
I
haven't started collecting Social Security.
Okay.
And I have credible coverage through my employer.
Okay.
Okay. And so come July, I'm not going to get the Medicare card because they're assuming that I have credible coverage
through work. Okay.
And I'm not collecting Social Security. So I'm not going to get the Part B.
And why would somebody not want to collect Social Security?
Well, some people want to wait. I might wait till I'm 67. And that's what's happening a lot. A lot of people are still working and they want to wait. The problem is that a lot of them don't have credible coverage.
Yeah.
So that's one scenario where I'm working, I have credible coverage. I don't need to pick up the Part B. That's fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Or I could be turning 65, not collecting Social Security and not having insurance.
Okay.
So now I'm not going to get the Part B.
Okay.
And what happens if I don't pick it up?
You get penalized.
Exactly. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Could you do a little music there?
That's going to be Medicare coming after you.
So that exactly. They're going to be hiding in the background. So let's say I don't pick it up.
Okay.
Or let's say I call Social Security and I ask them, do I have to pick up Medicare Part B? They're going to tell me no, because I don't. Nobody's going to make me pick it up. But what they don't tell me is that if I don't pick it up, I'm going to get a penalty, 10% for every month that
every 12 months.
Every 12 months.
12 full months, yeah.
That I didn't pick it up. So for every month of that year, I'm going to get a penalty. And that penalty is going to be added when I eventually pick it up. That penalty is going to be added to my Part B premium for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So just to confirm, for every 12-month period, at the end of that 12-month period, if you still don't have the Part B, the penalty is 10% for that 12-month period. But then there's still the Part D penalty, which that's another conversation. Which that is a monthly penalty. But long story short, you don't want to get penalized, and in not every situation they're going to get penalized, like you said, as long as they have creditable coverage. And it's important, if you're leaving group insurance coverage, they send you that letter,
right?
And you want to save that letter, because there's a letter of loss when you lose your coverage, that you're going to want to send if you're not working anymore. If you're still working, it's easy to fill out forms, and we're going to go over those with you. So let's go over this situation. I'm going to pull up socialsecurity.gov, and let's say that I'm turning 65. Okay. but I don't want to pick up Social Security. I just want to get my Medicare.
Right.
Let's show them where to go. So we're going to scroll all the way down and see where it says Medicare Enrollment.
And on my iPad, it automatically goes to that.
Okay. Yeah. So what you guys want to do is click on Medicare Enrollment. And let me see if I can make this a little small. Well, it's fine. It's big. And then you want to, I would definitely read through this because this is great information, reading through the whole ordeal here. But if we scroll down, and I'm trying to toggle here because I'm not using my mouse right now. If you scroll down all the way,
and it tells you, should I sign up for it? And
yeah. So you can scroll down here. There's papers that you can do, or you can just hit this apply where you go apply for Medicare only. And when you click on that apply for Medicare only, it's going to then bring you to where you need to apply. Okay. So for those of you that are listening or that are going to be listening to the recording later, when you do this, this is for those people that are still working, that don't want to keep the insurance through work, or maybe your work requires you to get the Part B.
A lot of companies are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Once people turn 65, they want them to pick up Medicare. They want them to go on their own because with insurance prices sky high, they don't want to provide insurance for the employees. That's a big chunk of money that the company is going to save. So unfortunately, they're moving them all out.
And it just depends on how big the company is that you're working for and things like that. So, and the good news is if you guys have questions about your particular situation, you don't have to leave that in the comments. You can call us, excuse me, but you can call Sylvia. I'll leave her number on the thing here. So for those of you that are not going to be drawing Social Security and need to enroll in your Medicare benefits, you can do it online. Okay. Now for those of you that don't want to do things online, because the most of the Social Security offices are closed right now. They're by appointment only. You can call the Social Security Administration, schedule an appointment, and get in there and do it either via phone or in person. Depending on your situation, we can help you fill out certain forms that you might need. So let me go back here for a second. I can't go any further here because then it requires you to put your personal information. But let's go back for a second. And if you scroll down even more, if you already have, so let's use another example. So this is if they're 65, they need to enroll in Medicare.
Right.
Okay. They didn't ever get automatically enrolled into Medicare. But let's talk about what happens if they're 68 and they want to come off of their group insurance plan and they never enrolled in the Part B.
Okay. Same thing. You're going to have to go into Medicare and apply for the Part B. Now, it's a little different because you're going to need to submit 2 forms. One of the forms you need to take to your employer and have them sign, which can you?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right here. It's called the CMS 40B.
Now, any of these forms, today I'm dropping off 2 forms to one of my clients' husband. And because they don't use the internet, they've been calling Social Security, they're not getting anywhere. So I'm dropping them off so they can take care of them and either fax them or mail them to them. Anytime you fax or mail anything to Social Security, make sure you get a copy of it. Don't mail them the original one.
Okay.
So this is the
CMS 40B. This is, in layman's terms, this is the Part B enrollment form on paper.
Right.
So if you are that person that you're leaving insurance and you're like, well, man, I have the red, white, and blue card, but I don't have, it only shows Part A for hospital, but I need the medical portion. They would need to complete this form, which is the application for Part B enrollment, which is the medical insurance.
So stop it right there.
Okay.
So I've had situations where they've submitted this.
Okay.
And we called Social Security with them on the line. And what happened was they filled this out wrong.
Mm.
So it has your name, your Medicare number.
Mhm,
So you
mhm,
put your Medicare number. Do you wish to apply for the Part B?
mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
And you want to put the date that you want it to start.
Okay.
It's very, very important for what they tell us, what they told me. And then if you scroll up a little bit more on the remarks, you're going to tell them specifically, I want to pick up the Part B
Mhm.
effective this month, whether
Yes.
it's July or August, because a lot of times they're thinking, I'm sending it out. I want it, they're not putting it a specific date.
Mhm, mhm.
They're because they don't know when you're going to quit. They don't know if you've already quit this month or in 2 months or 3 months.
Yep.
So you have to be specific on the remarks. I want to start my Part B. I want to make it effective
Mhm.
at this particular day.
That's so important because I did have a situation where somebody didn't do that and they enrolled him. He only had this 3-month window was already passing to get into a Medicare Advantage plan. So he enrolled after the fact. His Part B wasn't effective until like January 1st, but we can't enroll them until February 1st.
Right.
So we were scraping around trying to find a special enrollment period because his initial enrollment already passed. So luckily, thank goodness we did, but it was, we were
Yep.
just worried because he would have had to wait until the annual enrollment. That would have been another 9 or 10 months without a Medicare
Yep.
Advantage plan or prescription drug program. So
And if the 12 months pass,
mhm.
there goes the penalty.
Yeah. So that's so good. That's good information right there. Number 12 on the CMS 40B form, that Part B enrollment form, make sure, like Sylvia said, specify when you want the Part
start.
B to start.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when we go down here, it's not a very hard form to fill out, to be quite honest. I mean,
And if you can get a copy of it, if you can, I don't even know if the libraries are open again.
ooh, that's a good one.
I used to go to the library often. You can go to the library and download it, or you can call me and I'll go drop it off.
Yeah.
I'm around San Antonio all the time. So,
And if they're not in San Antonio,
I will mail them to you.
okay. Or if
Okay.
you have, we can email them, mail them to you, or we can even direct you to the site where you can download these forms yourself.
Right.
And then what's the other form they
And
need
the
to fill
other
out?
the other one is the employer form.
So it's called the CMS L564 form. And I know we're using some crazy terms, but this is just request for employment information. So what do they need to do here?
So this they have to take it to their employer
Mhm.
because they have to prove that they
Mhm.
had credible coverage during the time that they didn't pick up the Part B.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, I turned 65 this year and I didn't pick up the Part B. And 2 years from now,
Mhm, mhm,
I decide, you know what? I'm going to pick up the Part B.
mhm.
Well, they want to make sure that I had credible coverage.
Okay.
So I have to take this to my employer and they have to fill it out. I
Gotcha.
can't fill it out myself. It has to be by the employer.
Mhm,
And then I submit that. So let's say they don't do it.
mhm.
And 2 years from now, I want to pick it up. I'm not going to be able to just send the other form saying I want Medicare to start at a specific day
Mhm,
because
mhm.
they're not going to give me Medicare whenever I want.
Yeah, I mean, and this form looks kind of intimidating if you've never seen like Medicare forms and things like that. So, like, say that again, Sylvia. So they need to take this form to who?
To their employer, HR.
Okay.
All the big companies, they have an HR, even smaller ones. They have somebody who handles their insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to be the ones that are going to fill this out. They're going to go back and say, yes, he had it from, the time they turned 65 till today.
Okay.
Now, if there is a gap, crazy story. I had a client who had it for a year
Mm-hmm.
and he quit his job. And there was a gap for 2 months.
Mm.
And then he waited another year and got the Part B. So I'm thinking, well, you had insurance for all this time. They would give it. We couldn't figure out what happened. We finally did a 3-way call. Well, Social Security was able to find out that for 2 months he didn't have insurance.
And that's
so you have to have continuous coverage. And he had that little gap for 2 months, and they said, nope, it didn't count, even though he went to another job and they gave him insurance. So he got penalized from the beginning of the second insurance.
That's so crazy. Well, and then on this section, it tells them Section A, they need to fill it out. Section B, the employer needs to fill it out.
Right.
So we just wanted to show you guys those forms really quickly because those are the forms that you're going to need. And like Sylvia said, if you need them, let us know, and we can definitely walk you through those things.
So what happens now if, let's say, I don't pick up the Part B and I don't have credible coverage? A lot of people think I'm healthy. I don't need drug coverage because I don't take any medicine. I don't need insurance because I don't get sick. And then I go 3 years without getting it. And then finally I start feeling the little aches and pains. And then I decide what happens then.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that are watching and that are going to be rewatching this, I would highly recommend to share this with your family and friends that are going to be retiring soon. Even if you're going to be retiring and you're not of Medicare age, it's important to start getting in front of this stuff, because what happens is, like, if you're like me, we're procrastinators and time flies by so fast. It's crazy. So don't sit on this kind of stuff, because I've had clients that call me 6 months in advance and they're like, okay, I'll call you closer to that time. I'll call you closer to that time. And then I'm calling them and they're like, oh, I'll take care of it later. I'll take care of it later. And then guess what? Well, you didn't tell me that I was supposed to. It's like, girl, we talked about
it. and then what does happen when you wait too long?
They get penalized. They
penalized, and then they can only pick it up twice a year.
Let's talk about that general enrollment period for Part B. So people hear about these OEP, AEP, SCP, all these things. There's all these acronyms out there. Well, there's another one that's very important to remember, which is probably one of the most important ones. It's the GEP, which is General Enrollment Period, which is specific to the Part B enrollment or the Medicare enrollment, just the red, white, and blue card. So these are for people that, let's just say, they never picked up the Part B. They're like, nah, I don't need it. It's typically the guys, no offense, guys. But I don't need it. I never go to the doctor, right?
Yeah.
I never go to the doctor. I don't want to pay that $130. And then guess what happens? Something goes on. They go to the hospital. And then now they want to get it up, right? Well, guess what? You can't just pick up Medicare Part B at any time in the year. There's specific windows that you can pick it up, unless there was a special enrollment where you left group insurance, had a loss of coverage, right? Credible coverage.
Left the country.
Okay. There's these like unique situations.
Got out of jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Things like that.
If you
not that it happens, but it does happen.
Yes, it does happen. If you need a long list of those, we can do those for you. But they're not very common. Right. The most common one is loss of group insurance coverage or credible coverage, or moving,
not getting, not wanting it.
Yeah. So, but the not wanting it, they're not just going to let you get in at any time. There's a general enrollment period. So for example, let's just say you were that person, right?
Right.
And you don't have the Part B. And then they're like, oh my God, Corona and this and that, right? Okay. Now you're like, I need it. Well, luckily, you're still within this window of opportunity, which is from January 1st till March 31st to apply for the Part B portion of Medicare. However, guess what? It ain't going to become effective right away.
Till July.
It won't. When's it going to become effective again?
July the 1st.
July the 1st.
So let's say I didn't get it last year. Let's say I didn't get Part B for 2 years because I'm healthy. I don't want it. I don't. And so now it's March. Well, I have till the end of the month to apply for it. Okay. And I'm not going to get it. It's not going to be effective till July the 1st. And during this time, guess what happens? I'm getting, if I waited 2 years of penalty, 10%, that now are going to be added to my, this year the premium is 148.
I think it's 140.
148.60.
Mm-hmm.
So if my penalty was $10, let's lowball it, $10.
Mm-hmm.
That $10 is going to be added to my Part B premium for the rest of my life. The rest of my life, not the first month nor the second, always.
But Sylvia, what do I do? How do I get insurance? You mean I can't get my insurance?
Yep. You were penalized. They sent you a big old book this big.
You should have read it.
You should have read it. In that book, in the Medicare Bible, it tells you that. But it's easy for people.
What's that book called, Sylvia?
Yes.
What's the book called?
Medicare.
Medicare and You.
Medicare New. I've had a lot of people, mostly people that are VA.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I have a lot. Well, there's a reason, but I have a lot of people that have VA
Mm-hmm.
that think I have the VA. I don't need the Part B.
Mm-hmm.
And they've called Medicare. And like I said, Medicare is never going to tell you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
You're going to get a penalty. Nope. They're going to say, no, don't pick it up. Don't worry about it. Go on with your life. And then 2 years later or a year later, when you decide and you call Medicare, they're going to say, oh, no, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You should have realized you were going to get a penalty. And I've seen that happen insane times. And I see them rushing. I had this man, I was in the Valley, and I told him that at HEB in the beginning of March. And he kept saying, no, Medicare said, I don't get a penalty. I'm like, did they say yes or no? Did you ask them? And he called me the day, the 30th, to tell me he finally got a hold of Social Security and they said, yes, he gets a penalty. So he was on his way to the library to get the form and take it out there because it had to be in by the 31st.
Wow.
And it was going to be effective July. He's still on my books. And he was furious. You know, like I said, Social Security, Medicare is never going to tell you there's a penalty. So be aware of that.
And it's not that they're not trying to. It's just that you got to remember that the people that are answering the phones are you know, they're employees of Medicare, and some of them I've gotten great experiences with them, and some of them are not the sharpest tool in the shed. Sorry about that. If anybody were, you know, if you're listening, you're probably not that one because you're
not. It wasn't you. It was the other one.
But it's not like they don't want to. It's just that Medicare, and you can't blame anybody because, gosh, I mean, how much crap do they get?
Oh my God. And the phone calls, the enormous amount of phone calls, I can't even imagine. If I get a lot of calls, I can't even imagine them 24 hours. I've called and I'm on hold for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I tell people call early in the morning. They also give you an option for them to call you back. Take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that. Because I've been on hold with them for an hour and then the phone goes off. I get disconnected. So it's insane. So call them until they give you that option for them to call you back because they don't always give it to you.
Yeah.
So I usually call them back again until they give me that option.
If you guys are watching right now and you have family or friends or anybody that's on Medicare, tag them in this live show so that way they can listen in to us because this is good information, guys. I mean, you can go look at some YouTube videos and stuff like that. We always encourage you to learn, but we put these live shows together so that way you guys can answer. We can try to answer your questions live. If you're driving, please don't do that, obviously. But if you have questions, we're going to start putting in a number here soon so that way you can call in and ask questions as well. And so again, sorry to interrupt you, Sylvia, but I just want to remind the audience to ask us questions, to share these videos out. It really does help us as a show, and it also helps us reach more people that really do need this information. Because with all the information that they get, it's fairly hard to decide which one's the best one to really believe, right? Because they're getting advertisement. They're actually getting real stuff from Medicare.
Yes.
They're getting stuff that looks like it's from the Medicare government, which is actually advertisement. So there's so much information. So we're trying to put on these live shows so that way you guys can get the real information that you need. And like I said, if we don't have the answer, we will get the answer. Because we, as much as we've been in the business change is ever changing. So we're not claiming to be the
super experts,
but we know a lot and we know enough to help people. And if you guys have questions, just put it in there. Going back to go ahead.
What you just said about advertisement, that's good that you said that, because a lot of times they're getting all these advertisement and they're thinking, yes, I'm turning 65, because they're getting bombarded with calls and everything, trying to sell them insurance.
Yeah.
But I know that they're talking to agents and they're thinking, I'm going to pick up a plan. And unfortunately, the people that they're talking, they're not even asking them if they've already picked up the Part B. And so, because some of these agents are new or they're not sure, they're like so excited, I'm going to sign them, that they're not asking them the basic question. Have you picked up the Part B?
Now, let's go back to that, because the whole show is about Part B today. Okay. Let's break down the premium. That premium, the part, which is your monthly cost for the Medicare insurance portion, the medical portion of Medicare. See, the Medicare Part A is mostly free for the majority of people that are on Medicare. It's premium free, meaning that there's no cost. Well, why? Because you paid into the taxes for at least 40 quarters. So when you see your check, and if you're working right now, or if you're not working and your spouse is working, look at one of their checks and you'll notice that there's taxes that are taken out, right? And when they take out for those Medicare taxes, that's where those taxes are going, right? Towards the Medicare program.
Right.
And so when you turn Medicare eligible, they don't, the hospital portion is covered at no cost in most cases, as long as you have the 40 quarters. Which is 10 years, but the Part B ain't free. Why? And so people are like, wait, you telling me that they've been taking out my taxes and I'm not going to get the Part B for free? What the HE double toothpicks, right?
That's the first thing. I've been paying all my life. Why can't I get it free?
Yeah.
It's not
free. And what's the biggest misconception?
That it's free?
Well, and then, so when you get the Social Security statement, right? When you start drawing, if you're not drawing, let's go over this real quick. Let's rewind. Because we're talking about monthly premium now for Part B of Medicare. If they're not drawing Social Security, what happens?
You have to pay for it. You have to, when you send the form, or when you do it online, or when you call Social Security or go down there, you're going to have to make payment arrangements, just like anything else. It's usually 3 months.
So what Medicare does is they'll send you a bill for 3 months. So it looks really scary especially when you're first becoming Medicare eligible. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, because it's close to $400. I just had a client, the daughter called me and they dropped her mother because she didn't pay. And they're thinking, that's okay, I'll just call them and re-signed up. Now she has to wait till the end of the month. She has to redo the paper all over again, and it's not going to be effective till July. So she doesn't have insurance right now.
Or some of them will reinstate it, but you got to back pay.
Right. And they wouldn't do it for her because I think they dropped it in January. So she hadn't paid the last 3 quarters, which October, November, December. And then she didn't pay January, February.
Yeah,
and so she got the letter in the beginning of the month. And like you said, sometimes she'll pay. They said, no, she had to reapply it again.
Wow.
So it's very important that you pay it automatically. To me, out of your check or your bank, somewhere that you won't forget. I had to take, years ago when I first started, I had to take one of my clients, he used to be at the Southwest Senior Center, down to Social Security for him to pay the last 3 months, right? Take him a check.
Well, and I mean, that's great of you, because a lot of people think that we control, as insurance agents, that we control the Medicare Part B portion, and we do not. We don't even control the insurance, but we don't technically, even though a lot of us do help navigate that process, we can't see your bill. We don't know when
Right.
what you have set up with them. We don't know that. So when you come to us with that red, white, and blue card, we assume that you have that handled because you already have the Part B.
Right.
So it's very important if you are getting that quarterly bill, either you're paying it quarterly or you need to set up with that Medicare Easy Pay where they can set it up coming out of the bank account every month.
Right.
And then once you start drawing Social Security, you can elect to have that Part B portion come out of the Social Security check automatically, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have,
Right.
That's the best way. If you're drawing Social Security, I think that's the best way. And so when they look at their statement, Sylvia, it says their Social Security gross income at the top, and then what's right at the bottom?
The Part B. And they'll tell them what they've paid all year long to Social Security.
Yeah.
And that's the threefold form that they get at
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. And it tells them that what they've received and if they've paid. Some people don't even know what they're paying or if they're taking it out or if a third party is paying for it. They're not aware, but Medicare automatically will take it out. This year, like I said, it's $148. If you were grandfathered a couple of years ago, you might be paying $120, $128,
So
$132.
Let's talk about that because a lot of people think because they're paying the Medicare Part B portion that everything else after that is going to be free.
Right.
So let's talk about the two situations. You have the Medicare Supplement option. I mean, you have the option to stay on original Medicare with nothing else, but we don't recommend that option at all. So that's why you're getting all these advertisements because the insurance companies know you have to enroll into something if you don't have anything supplementing the insurance like TRICARE or other creditable coverage that you have maybe through a retirement plan. But so these insurance companies know that you have to sign up for something. Now we represent all those companies, all those products. And so we help you navigate. We're not biased to one company or one product. We're here to line it up for you because it is confusing. So let's break down the first option, number one, which is Medicare Supplement and prescription drug. People think, oh, okay, I already pay that $148, and for some of you that are making higher income, and that's a whole nother podcast or show, which is the IRMA, which is basically based on your income, you pay higher rates for your monthly premium. But for those of you, the majority that are within this $148 per month, the biggest thing that I see is people think, okay, cool, I'm paying $148 and that covers everything.
Prescriptions too.
Prescriptions
That's
too.
what they're thinking.
That's a big misconception. That's a big no-no. So in the first option, if you go with the Medicare Supplement option, in addition to the Part B premium, you have to pick up your supplemental coverage, which is an additional monthly cost, depending on where you're at, what your age is. It just depends on pretty much everything. So there's going to be an additional cost depending on what plan you go with. And then
I have two.
So now you have two monthly costs. Okay. And then what's the third one?
And then you need a drug plan.
Because
Medicare does not include prescription drugs. So on the supplement, remember, I hear a lot of people telling me, oh, I have a supplement, and they don't. They have a Medicare Advantage plan. There's two different things, and we don't want to confuse you, but on the supplement, Medicare pays 80%, and there's also a deductible of $203 this year. So 20% would be my part. If I have Medicare, I have 20%. So when I purchase a supplement, that supplement comes in and pays all that 20% except the deductible
for Part B.
So that means if I go see my doctor, go to Conviva, I give them my Medicare card, they're going to pay the 80%. Then I give them my supplement card and they're going to pay the 20%. And those are the best. I mean,
and just depending on what she's referring to, the Plan G.
Yes.
But there's other plan letters that are a little different, but that's the most popular one other than Plan N, which we'll get into that in another. Again, there's a lot of information that we can cover, but too much for 1 hour. But so they have the cost for the Part B.
Right.
Now, who pays? How does that get paid again?
The Part B out of my check.
And who's responsible for paying that?
Moi.
Yeah, you as an agent, you as a beneficiary. So if you're listening, So you always, the thing is, you have to keep track of all that, guys. Like
Yeah.
when we help you enroll, that is really our job. Our job is not to keep up with your payments, right?
To educate you.
To educate you, to help you enroll, to make sure we put you in the right plan, to help service you after. But a lot of the payments is going to be on you, because we can't see out of the thousands of clients that we help, we can't see, everybody. I mean, that would be a big HIPAA violation, but we just can't see what's coming out of your bank account or.
Yep. And there's help, I don't want to confuse you or anything, but there's help out there that, let's say I'm low income and I'm paying the 148 and I can't afford it. That will help me if I qualify. So that's, another topic for another show.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that to pick up Medicare, to pick up the Part B, if you can, I mean, if it's off, if you don't have credible coverage, you will have to pick it up. So now we have the Medicare premium, and then the supplement, and then now
the Part D,
the drug,
which is 3 premiums in that section. So, and then the next section, the next option would be Medicare Advantage, which a lot of you are familiar with. Medicare Advantage, which you'll see a lot of these plans with 0 monthly premium. And that's what I want to point out right now. With these Medicare Advantage plans that have 0 monthly premium, get a plan, 0 cost, get a plan, 0 cost. Does that mean I still don't have to pay my Part B premium?
That's a big thing. So when I talk to people, when I sign them and I tell them the plan is 0, but you still have to pay your premium. Why? Because you're paying Medicare, and now Medicare turns around and pays the plan that you choose. And now the plan is the primary. Your foundation is Medicare. You'll always have Medicare, and that's your foundation. If you were to drop it, Medicare, there goes your plan out the door. So, yes, I get a lot of people saying, but you said it was 0 premium. It's like, yes, but you still have to pay Medicare. And the Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, what they do is they bundle everything. Remember on the supplement, the 3 premiums, they're called Part C. They bundle everything together. So once you get the plan, then that's what you're going to go and show to your doctor, the hospital, the pharmacy. If I have a prescription, that's what I'm going to use, that one card for everything.
Now let's talk about if they have a Medicare Advantage plan with a monthly cost. Does that replace the Part B premium portion?
Now they're going to have 2. So the premium for the Medicare, and let's say, again, if I have Medicare, and if I choose a different plan, maybe a PPO, that has a monthly premium, $15, $40, they're all different, costs. I still have to pay that.
Yeah.
And if I'm not getting Social Security and I'm paying that 3 through Social Security, if I'm sending them a check, then I have to send a check to the insurance that I'm buying the insurance plan from. Okay. So, or they'll deduct it from my check, whatever's convenient. They want to get paid.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've seen people that are still working that get a PPO and they make an arrangements with the plan. And, when they signed you, the insurance agent will put down, if you have a premium, how do you want that premium taken out? Do you want to do monthly check, Social Security? They send you a book, old school. They send you the little book and you just write them a check and,
and send off the payment
and send it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to make that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of people that are out there, and there's a lot of people that are signing up more than ever for Medicare Advantage plans. And they think that because, and it really honestly comes down to how the agent presents it, because they're like, and you're not going to pay anything, right? Which is, in essence, you're not, depending on the plan, if there is a 0 monthly premium Medicare Advantage plan out there, which is fine. I think something's going off. If there is a 0 monthly premium Medicare Advantage plan, then a lot of people think that they don't now have to pay, that it replaces the Part B premium. So rule of thumb, you're always going to pay that Part B premium. You never can get rid of it. The only time that you won't ever have to pay it is one, if you don't have it, and we don't recommend that. We don't recommend going without Part B. That's the medical portion. That covers the majority of your day-to-day medical cost. The second one would be if they were lower income and they met the income and asset requirements for the Medicare Savings Program for Part B premium assistance. There's a third one where some of the plans have what's called Part B givebacks. Those are not permanent. Those can vary from year to year. So the plan can have it one year and they cannot have it the next year. So those are called Part B premium giveback plans. Can you think of a fourth one?
No. But on those give back, we are in March, and some of the people that have gone those, whatever amount, 50, 100, whatever, it takes a couple of months.
Yeah.
I have one client, and the insurance is saying they've already sent it to Social Security. So now it's Social Security who's going to take care of it, or the plan. But it doesn't happen automatically. It doesn't happen January the 1st or whenever you signed up.
Yeah.
So let's see, what else would be?
I mean, unless you have an employer and somebody, they're helping you pay.
So there is, I know a particular AT&T does that.
Okay.
They give them back. This year, I think it's $121. So, and that's just something that they do for their retirement employees for the Part B.
Yeah.
So, doesn't happen that often, and they usually know when they retire from their employer, when they give them their package, their exit package, this is what you get, and
yeah. So those would be the only way. So long story short, if you're listening or you have a parent or aunt or uncle or grandma or grandpa, or doesn't matter, or cousin or brother or sister that's on Medicare, and they're not getting any type of assistance to get the state to pay that Part B, they have to maintain that premium. They have to pay that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to pay that premium if you want the Part B. And we do not recommend to be without the Part B unless you have creditable coverage through work, or if you're in a certain situation where you have other insurance for whatever reason. But it's a shame because we sometimes have to be the bearer of bad news and say, I got to pay that $148. How long? Well, for the rest of I don't like to say for the rest of your life. I just say, as long as you have the Part B, you have to pay the Part B.
Oh, I tell them.
For the rest of your life.
Forever.
Forever.
Yes. And just remember, Social Security money is one thing, Medicare is another.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, but I don't want Social Security. I'm not going to get it till like 68. Yes. But you have to get the Part B.
Yeah, because just because you delay the Social Security, that doesn't mean you can necessarily delay the Part B.
Right.
Now, there is one other one. Well, that's just getting in the weeds, and I don't want to do that.
With the husband and the wife and all that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we should even bring that up because that'll be a whole 20 minutes. But just really quickly, if you're listening and maybe you didn't work, you're like, well, oh my God, Victoria and Sylvia say I needed to work my whole life, or I needed to work for 10 years. I didn't ever work. Well, for those of you that didn't work, but you were married for, was it 10 years? Or
10
as long
years.
as you were married to somebody that put into the work history for 10 years, then you will be able to draw off of their Social Security and collect your Medicare, Medicare through off of their quarters. So if, like I said, if you're listening and you were a homemaker, or maybe you were taking care of the kids, or whatever the situation was, you can draw off of your spouse as long as they put in the work history and paid into those quarters.
Right.
Yeah.
And to confuse you more, on the Part B, another reason when you turn 65 that you don't have to pick it up is if you're married and your spouse has it through their employer. And I don't want to confuse you and go through all that, but if you're married and you have insurance through your employer, through your husband, your spouse, and you don't want to pick up the Medicare, or you do, if you have any questions, because that's going to take another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can call us and we'll guide you through that, you know.
It's so important to reach out to a professional that's been doing this, and particularly somebody that's licensed through the state of Texas, because you'll get these people that are not even licensed, right? Like some of these navigators and stuff like that. They don't know every little thing. I mean, we have so much experience, not only locally, but nationally, on how these things work. So you want to get with a professional. But what I wanted to point out there is that there's so many different types of situations.
Right.
And by you bringing that up, the reason why it's important to first talk to somebody. Okay. Now, if you talk to somebody and they're like, okay, let's enroll you, no, there should be a whole fact-finding process about, tell me about your medications, tell me about your situation. Do you have a spouse that's drawing? We got to ask all those things, because the reason why is going back to that employer. So let's just say we have a lady and she's turning 65.
I'm a lady.
You're a lady. Okay. And let's just say I'm the husband. Okay. But I'm only 55. Okay. But you're still working and you're getting insurance through work, and he's not working, or I'm not working, and I don't have any insurance. I'm not working.
Right.
So I have to rely on your health insurance. But what happens if you decide to get off that health insurance?
You, my love, are going to lose your insurance.
And that's a big one that we see. And let me tell you, depending on your income, if you apply for the ACA plans for people that are under 65, also known as Obamacare, depending on your income, you may not qualify for tax subsidies. And those plans are very expensive.
Yes.
Very, very expensive based on your age. Some of them, they're really inexpensive, but that's based on the tax credit and all that subsidy that you might get based on your income and your household. So before you leave your group insurance coverage, if you have a covered spouse and they're relying on your insurance.
Our children. I have people.
Oh, children too.
Or grandchildren that they're giving them the coverage.
So it's just important to talk to a representative or talk to a professional that knows how to kind of problem solve and navigate you through that situation, because we'll be the first to tell you, stay where you're at.
Yes. I've told that to many people. No, you can't. Stay with what you have. It's better. Sometimes the retirement plans are better than what we offer. I mean, that's just, some old insurance, old companies that are excellent. They give them everything. They still have to pick up the Part B. You have to pick up the Part B, but their insurance through their employer. And I tell them, no, stay with what you have, or don't. That's why they call us, so we can tell them yes or no. And, my objective is always what's best for my client. Well, always.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. People look at agents sometimes as, well, you're just making a commission, or you're just getting credit for if you sell me something. Honestly, that's not, that is the case. We can't work for free. Unfortunately, we got to pay our bills too.
Right.
But it doesn't affect you with working with an agent. But with us, oh my gosh, like I'd rather not sell you something than put you into something that's going to cause you a headache, me a headache, and everybody else a headache.
Because you will call us back.
Yeah, you will call us and we will hear it.
Yes,
Yeah. So we wanted to point that out. So everybody's situation is different. And it's important that you contact somebody locally, or you can call us over the phone. We can help you over the phone, in person, however you want to do it. Or share. And also, for those of you guys that are listening, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you guys joining in this live show. I know it really helps out the channel when you guys share the live feeds, because the more people that are watching, it just encourages us to keep putting out this content that we feel that is very necessary. I don't think there's really a show like this.
I don't think so. We're the first ones in the world.
I mean, I've seen national people doing podcasts and stuff like that, but
not
locally,
for Medicare.
I don't know. There are some there. Yeah, I follow a lot of them, but but there's not. I haven't seen live specific to customers, like clients, so at least on a local level. But like I said, guys, we appreciate you guys listening. So like it, share it, comment. We love comments because we love. This is live, so we get to answer your questions live. If you're an agent, if you're a client, if you're a vendor partner, if you're a provider, if you're listening to the show, if you have questions, you know, we talk to providers that don't know every single thing about
Right.
Medicare. So if you don't, trust me, if you have a question, I guarantee you, I know that teachers used to say that,
Yes.
right? If you have a question, raise your hand. I guarantee you some. And now I'm talking like them. If you have a question, raise your hand because.
And what do we do for providers? We do lunch and learns.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a provider out there and you accept Medicare and you accept several plans and you're
Mhm.
not sure even how Medicare works, we can do a lunch and learn
Mhm.
and go over how Medicare works and go over the plans that you accept so your employees and you're more aware of, you know, how to help your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just want to get the information out there. And, you know, we might not be always on course and we might, you know, steer, make a lot of winding little turns. And
If we confuse you, that's what we need to do. No, if we confuse you, then as we go along, maybe, no, we won't. We'll still be confusing, but you can call us
Mhm.
and we can talk about it and try to
Mhm.
figure out what's going on. If you need these forms,
Uh-huh.
call me. If you're in San Antonio and you don't have a printer or you can't get to the library,
Mhm.
you need to hurry up and do it because you need to send this to your employer. Call me. I'll drop it off at your house or we'll mail it to you. I'm dropping these off at out there by Penn Vital today.
I
But
put
one of my
Sylvia's
clients-
number on there. So if you start getting all these calls, Sylvia,
That's fine.
it's your fault.
It's my fault. That's what I want. That's what I'm here for. But yes, it's important. It's very important that you take care of the Part B.
Yeah,
And that you know what it does and what it doesn't do and how it helps you. And,
Mhm.
you know, don't assume anything. You brought up the ACA insurance. If you have had a client and they had Medicare
Mhm.
and they weren't sure if to drop the ACA.
Mm.
And so the husband, both of them,
Mhm.
and I remember I text you because I
Yeah.
don't sell the ACA insurance.
Mhm,
I know
mhm.
you do. And you said they have to drop it. I believe
Yeah.
it's against the law to have ACA and Medicare.
Well, they're
I
both
read that somewhere.
because Medicare is a federal program,
Okay.
and a lot of these tax subsidies, if you're getting a tax subsidy because it's government money, it's a tax credit,
Mhm.
you can't really double dip in the cookie jar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now, if they want to pay it, I don't know why you would do that. Now,
Right.
it is illegal to
sell.
somebody a Medicare Supplement and a Medicare Advantage plan. You can't do that because one, you're losing the Medicare Advantage is a replacement for original Medicare. You don't lose it, but it becomes primary, which is a whole different story. But to confuse them even more. But yeah, so if you guys have questions about health insurance, really anything. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, health insurance, life insurance, just about everything except home and auto. I don't deal with that. There's a special person that can deal with that. And kudos to you guys that do it. I personally don't do that, unfortunately. I do have somebody that does, or a couple of people that do. Any last thoughts, Sylvia? We're coming up to about 3 minutes before we end.
I think we had a good show. Like we said, if you have any questions or call us, we're here for you. I want to give a shout out to my granddaughter, Emily Joy Toscano. She's out there. If anybody knows her, tell her grandma loves her and miss her. And one day I'll see her soon.
Oh, that's so nice. And last shout out, as we're doing shout outs, shout out to my mommy, my
Happy birthday.
I do want to point out, guys, again, please share the show. Thank you so much for joining in. I know a lot of you guys support us, family, friends, Facebook family, Facebook friends. Thank you so much for sharing this. It is recorded, so you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Sylvia's Facebook page. You can find it on the Medicare Space Facebook page. Rewatch it, share it. They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay housed, which is why I love to live stream these, because they don't get deleted versus, putting it somewhere where it can get deleted. But so it's here for you guys. If there's a topic that you would like to hear about, do me a favor, put it in the comments. And if you're re-listening to this, still put it in the comments, because we can go back and look at your comments and we can start talking. What do we want to talk about next week?
Let's see. there's so many topics. Maybe we can have a guest person.
Yeah, you know what? If you're listening, or hey, if for you guys that are listening, we want to talk to somebody that can provide any type of value to our senior community. Maybe a doctor that has some health tips, maybe a dentist that has some gum disease tips that they can give us. Maybe a anybody. I mean,
Home health care providers.
It doesn't even need to be in the medical field. If you
Right.
feel like you have some,
You're
good
involved with the seniors, or you help them out, or you've got good information for them.
or maybe you're a client that wants to share a story that
There you
you've
go.
had, that you're not, you don't have to give all the details, but maybe share your first, maybe share your first experience that you've had when you were coming onto Medicare. We'd love to dissect that and kind of talk with you. So anybody really, we can send you a link and you can be live with us on the show. We can call you on the phone, like we sang happy birthday to my mom this morning and everybody heard it. We can, we could take your questions non-live. So if you're kind of shy, right? Like what
Like
we're
me.
talking, if you're kind of shy, you don't have to, so we want to listen to you. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, you know how to reach out to us. Sylvia's phone number is on the live feed here. And remember, join us every Friday,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Central. I put it at 10 a.m. because, I'm not an early bird.
I would be asleep right now.
I'm not an early bird. I know Sylvia's not an early bird. And I know you guys are not early birds. For those early birds, kudos to you.
I know.
But if you're not an early bird and you'd like to wake up at 12 o'clock on a Friday, then go back and listen to the recordings and we can, it still is just as good as if it was live, right? So, all right, guys, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining in. Be sure to share the channel. Be sure to like us, subscribe on the Medicare Space YouTube page if you haven't already. And we will see you next show.
Have a wonderful weekend.